There's one aspect of Joshua Davis's spare parts that's kind of hard to grasp. The school in which all of this takes place is underfunded, when just 40 years back, Carl Hayden students could brag about having an off-site equestrian program and a rodeo ring. At the time of the story, however, not so much. In the case of Carl Hayden, a major demographic shift took place, transforming from being an almost white school to over 90% Hispanic. And as much as we like to say that school segregation no longer exists, it really does, and Carl Hayden is just one example of this. Take California, for example. According to a study by UCLA's Civil Rights Project, the average Latino student in 1970 attended schools that were about 46% non-white, but by the 2010s, this increased to 84%. Making California the state with the most Latino school segregation, which is kind of weird considering that it was the first state to legally end it. And this presents an issue because research has shown racial integration in schools to be a generally good thing, whether it be higher test scores, higher graduation rates, as well as enhanced creativity skills, intensified leadership skills, high investment return on academic programs, reduced disparities in facilities and teachers, and you get the point. So what's going on? There's so many culprits when it comes to trying to make sense of it, including white flight, residential segregation, and school choice. But let's talk about the court case that changed history. The implementation of Brown v. Board, or rather, the lack of it. After the case ruled school segregation illegal, courts ordered integration through busing in cities such as Cleveland, Detroit, San Francisco, and Boston, where the infamous anti-busing riots occurred. Despite this, Americans seem to agree that racial integration in schools is beneficial and that more work should be done to help minority students, just not through busing. In 1999, during the midst of debate and court rulings in North Carolina and Massachusetts, a Gallup poll showed that 82% of Americans would rather have funding be given to local schools compared to the 15% who favored busing. This is a topic of debate that still goes on today. While some studies show that busing is clearly the better solution, some people disagree. The thing is, though, that in some parts of America, anti-busing sentiment has been overwhelmingly effective. And in 1974, the Supreme Court ruled in Milliken v. Bradley that
without an interdistrict violation and some interdistrict defect, there is no constitutional wrong and there is no constitutional basis for an interdistrict remedy.
Interdistrict busing was impermissible. These trends have led to many busing policies being relaxed. Here's the important thing though, schools are still de facto segregated, and in many majority-minority schools, underfunding is a huge issue. The movement of white households to less struggling areas is intensifying disparities between schools. While schools such as Carl Hayden have tried magnet programs to attract white families, we see that sometimes that doesn't work. Here's the bottom line. No matter what your opinion on busing or funding, school segregation is real and alive. And we Americans can't afford to pretend that it doesn't exist.